Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just want to start this video off with apologizing if you hear my dog bark. He barks at every little sound that he hears, so it's possible that you might hear him barking in the background. So this is going to be a little story time. Choco, stop. This is going to be a little story time. Why I hate my job. So let's start at the beginning. A little bit about myself. I worked in the hospitality industry for quite a few years. While I was working in the hospitality industry, there was a lot of oil-filled guys, pretty big guys in the oil field that would stay at the hotel that I managed at. Working there, I met a gentleman that was over one of the big oil-filled companies in my area. He worked with another smaller company that actually did the work for his company, and those people stayed at our hotel as well. So during that stay, this gentleman was like one of our very first guests. So he was there when the hotel very first opened. So he was more like family after 2 years of seeing him every single day. Learning about his family, meeting his girlfriend when she would come in and visit, meeting his children when they would come and visit, etc. So he got in touch with the smaller company that actually did some work for him. And he wasn't very happy with the girl who took care of like the billing and all that stuff. So he told this other company, hey, you really should hire this girl. So they talked to me and asked if maybe I wanted to join their team and get out of the hospitality industry. The pay was not very good there at all. Mind you, I was front operations manager, so if I would go in and work in the morning and say I would be there until 11 o'clock at night and my night auditor would call off, the shift that would work from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., I was stuck working there to cover the shift. So mind you, I worked a lot of hours for very little pay. So I talked to this company and they were like, yes, you know, we pay well. We'd love to have you. I went and met with them. And so I was like, you know what? This will probably be a good thing for me to try out. So I got in the oil and gas industry. I started doing invoicing for this company. I loved my job. I met a lot of great people working at that company. I was with them for 10 years, and May of 2019 made 10 years, and 1 week after my 10-year anniversary, I got laid off. There was very poor management at this company, so therefore they didn't do great budgeting. They would do a lot of spending that was unnecessary. Some of the pay that people were making was a little much. That really wasn't in our budget. And all the extras that they would spend on lunches, taking clients out for dinner, strip club trips, etc. So our construction side was awarded like a $3 million bid. Well, I think it was like 2 weeks into the job, we got kicked off that location. So we lost the work, and they had no choice but to lay people off. And I was one of the lucky first 45 people that got laid off. Did not see it coming whatsoever. Was not prepared. Granted, I did save a lot of money. I put a lot of money aside. I was making very, very good money, especially for this area and for not going to college. So I was making really good money. So they called me in one morning and they said, you know, we're laying you off. The company did not last. I got laid off in May. I think by, let's see, May, June, July. I think by August, the company completely closed the doors of the whole Northeast. So everybody was out of a job. Luckily, I was the first 45. One of the 45 that got let go. So that kind of gave me a head start of trying to find something else. That was really hard. I took it really hard. I loved my job. I took a lot of pride in my job. So getting laid off, that was a hard thing. And I took it personally when I shouldn't have. But I also didn't have a backup plan. So unemployment, I think you're on it for 6 months. So my 6 months was starting to run out quickly. So I started looking for another job. And one of the girls that worked at the company that I was working at, she got let go months before I did. I think she had like medical reasons that she wasn't able to do the tasks that she was supposed to be doing, like out in the field. So they gave her an option to do another department, and that just wasn't up to her standards. So she took the layoff, and she found something new. It was another oil and gas company that did a little bit different type of work than what we did at the company that we were at previously. So she said, hey, you know, they're getting ready to hire someone for accounts payable. They're looking for someone. Well, they're going to be looking for someone. Would you be interested in the job? And I was like, it doesn't hurt to go interview with these people. So I did. What they offered me was way less, like a whole lot less than what I was making. But like I said, my unemployment was running out, so I kind of just went for it. It was my, let me see, second week into the job, and I walked in one morning, and let's just back up a little bit. So let's give these people names first. So the one lady who does accounts receivable, let's call her Miss B. The vice president, which his father is pretty much the money of the company that I interviewed with, his one of his younger sons is the vice president. We're going to call him Little A. We're going to call the vice president Too Strong. That's a little inside joke my fiance and I have. So we'll call him Too Strong. The HR director / safety that I work closely with, we'll call her Miss S. Then the girl who's over sales, we'll call her Little C. So we're backing up here. So I went for the interview. I accepted the job. The main accountant that I spoke with in the interview, I met with her at the office like the next week or something to meet everyone in the office before I actually started work. So it was just Little C, Miss B, Too Strong, and Little A that was at the office that day. So I met them. First impression, I was just like, okay, you know, something new. I was actually kind of excited to a point of starting something new. But I also told myself when I start a new job, I'm not going to get caught up in the office gossip. I'm not going to share much of my personal life with these people because I did learn from my previous job, these people you work with, they're not your friends. They are not your friends. They're your coworkers and your coworkers only. They are not your true friends. So, going into this place, I said, you know what? I am not going to be friends with these people. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be cordial. But it's going to be a work relationship and a work relationship only. So, I went in that day and I met them. And it was like, okay. So, it was a Friday and I started that next Monday coming up. So, I went in that next Monday. Little C, that's over sales. Not only was I not only is the job title like accounts payable, it is entering in daily payroll as well. So Little C helped, she showed me, you know, how to enter in payroll and stuff like that. Little C and Miss S, they are like the girls that started the company. This company's only been established for 5 years and they were there from day one. So, you know, that's their home, that's their territory. They run the show. And believe me, in their mind, they run the show. So the the lady that I replaced, Miss B ran her off. And I totally can see this. These girls are evil. They're evil and they're mean girls. The only one that I even care to work with is Miss S. Thank God that I work with her closely and, you know, I really don't. I still have to interact with these other girls, but Miss S is the one that I have to deal with the most. Thank goodness. But anyways, let's go back. So these girls are evil and I can see why they ran this girl off, or this lady. And the girls that worked there previously, they ran them off as well. And I can see it. So, I go into work on that Monday. I work that whole week. Come the next following Monday, I walk in. Mind you, that Friday, Miss B, we had a large deposit that needed to be entered into our QuickBooks system. I really wasn't familiar with entering in deposits in QuickBooks, so I was learning. Mind you, it was my first week. So Miss B, she acts like she runs everything. Like, you know, she puts her hands in everything. If you're talking, she's got to put her hands into it, or she has to put her 2 cents in. But anyways, so she stands behind me at my desk and shows me how to enter this deposit in. Little did I know, she really didn't know what she was doing. Okay? So she's like, I was like, are you sure this is it? Like, is this correct? Oh yeah, it's correct. It's correct. So Monday morning I walk in. I'm like, oh, good morning. You know, it's just her at the office. Hi, good morning. How are you? She goes, you need to figure out why the account is negative, blah, 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 so many $1,000s. You need to figure it out. People are questioning. Mind you, later on I found out nobody was questioning. She just wanted to be a bitch, because that's what she is a bitch. I'm like, well, Miss B, you know, you stood behind me and you said I entered the deposit incorrectly. So, I mean, I didn't know any difference. She goes, well, you need to figure it out. Like, okay. So, the accountant that I interviewed with, she is just the company's accountant. She doesn't work in our office. She just does mainly, like, the big accounting stuff, like the taxes and whatnot. So, I sent her a text. I'm like, hey, you know, Miss B is extremely upset. Evidently, on Friday, I entered in a deposit incorrectly. I really didn't know what I was doing. She was standing behind me, watching me. She said I did it correct, so, I mean, I didn't think anything else of it. I thought I did the deposit correct. She replied back, don't let them get to you. Evidently, she already knew how these girls were. But anyways, she said, don't let her get to you. It's an easy fix. She told me how to fix it. So I fixed it. Then the owner, the big guy that I interviewed with, the money man, walked in. And I know Miss B thought she was going to get me. Now later on, I see this is the type of person she is. But anyways, so as soon as the owner walked in, I just let him know. I said, hey, Mr. R, I just want to let you know that I entered a deposit incorrectly on Friday. So it showed the account major in red this morning. But I did get with Miss S, another Miss S, the accountant Miss S. And she told me how to fix it. So Miss B thought she was going to get one over on me. Didn't let her, okay? So then it comes to payroll. I got a little overwhelmed entering in payroll. And I had it all messed up. So, of course, Miss B, putting her 2 cents in everything that she wants to, her hands in every little thing. She goes, here, I'll fix this. Let me fix payroll. And I said, no, you know, like, I'm new. I need to know how to do this. I need to learn to fix my own mistakes, or I'm not going to learn. Like, I need hands-on. I can't just stand over someone's shoulder and learn something. I need to actually physically do it and have hands-on. So anyways, I mean, I wasn't getting snippy with her, but I wasn't like, I was just being firm. Like, you know, like, no, I need to learn how to do this. So whatever. I sat down and I let her get it, fix it, enter it in, whatever. So the next day, I come into work, and Mr. Strong, Mr. Gossip, Mr. Strong, he's the biggest gossiper, any male gossiper I've ever met in my life. Like, it's sad for an adult. He's like 37 years old, and he is the biggest gossiper, and it's just sad. But anyways, so Mr. Strong and Miss B was there, and they were sitting at the big, like, conference table in the office, and they called me over. They're like, you know, we need to talk, which I already knew that she went to Mr. Strong and told him about the little payroll incident or whatever. And so right then and there, I realized what type of person this person was. Like, what type of lady this person was. So I reversed it on them. They're like, oh, you know, Ms. B was saying that you had payroll messed up and she helped you and blah, blah, blah. I said, yes, thank goodness it was for her. Like, she saved me. Thank you so much, Ms. B. She, you know, helped me figure all this out, got payroll re-entered in correctly and everything. If it wasn't for her, I just don't know what I would do. Thank you so much for your help. They didn't expect that. So, whatever. We move on. Since then, like every little thing one of the bosses asked me, she has to chime in, speak up. Oh, this, and this. If they ask me to do something, she has to put her 2 cents in and she wants to be involved. Whatever. So we moved out of that office into a new office. And we were there for a few months. Actually, when we came back from the pandemic, we worked like a month and a half out of the office. We worked from home after, during like the coronavirus first started and all that stuff. So we got back to the office, and the one girl that I worked with at my old company, she was like in charge. She was in charge of, at the time, over like these boxes that we have. We do like a box tracker, like they're big, we call them boxes, but they're big things that you put like trash in, like big dumpsters pretty much, things like that. She's in charge of that. Well, the company that we rent some of the boxes off of sent us a bill, and there's like a spreadsheet that we use. I went on the spreadsheet, couldn't find the information. So I go over, like I always do, to Miss B, because she knows everything, so I always go to her. She's my go-to person. Why? Because she knows everything that's going on. I go to her nicely, and I just said, hey, you know, like this company is charging us for this box and this box. I'm not finding it on our spreadsheet. Do you know anything about it? Mind you, on that spreadsheet, Miss B had something wrote in red. Like she was in there in the spreadsheet and added information in red because the information was missing. Someone didn't add it in there. The girl that I worked with at the previous company was supposed to add it in there, and it wasn't added in there. Okay, and we're going to call the girl that I worked with at the previous job Little Sis. We're going to call her Little Sis. So, Miss B's like, I don't know, you're going to need to get with Little Sis. That's between you and her. And I just step back, and I'm like, excuse me? Like, first off, I don't come with you with an attitude. Don't come back with me because I asked you a question. You wrote it in the spreadsheet. So I'm coming to you to get an answer. Why would Little Sis know anything about it? Seeing that Little Sis missed the information to begin with. And Miss B, you're the one that added it in there. She had an attitude. That whole day she had an attitude. And you know what? I was just fed up. I was completely fed up. I sent Mr. Strong a text message. He had left the office. I sent him a text message and asked if he was going to be coming back to the office that afternoon. And our HR, Miss S, I asked if she was going to be there because I wanted to meet with them. So they all met. We all met together, and we're in the big room where our desks are, and Miss B was in there too. And I just said, you know, there's been a lot of attitude in this office today. I don't understand why. I want to know what the problem is. And Miss B goes, are you talking to me? Like that. And I was like, yeah, actually I am. Like, what's the problem? She's never had anyone stand up to her. Because the lady previously to me, before me, she just quit. She just quit because she didn't want to deal with her. So it pissed her off, and she just like, little girl, you need to get your big girl panties on. And just running her mouth. And I was like, you know what? I don't think this job is for me. I hate the job. Hate it. Hate the people I work with. Absolutely hate it. Anyways, I said, you know what? I'm going to gather my things and I'm going to leave. So I gathered my things and I left, and Mr. Strong followed me outside, and he was like, you know, don't quit just because of her. He's like, you know, you heard me from the beginning, like from when you first started, that she's a difficult person to work with. Well, you're the president of the company. If you know someone's hard to work with and she causes issues, then why is she still there? Anyways, why? Because Big Strong, Mr. Strong, and Little A, the vice president, they're huge pussies. Yeah, I said it. They don't know how to stand up to their employees or anyone for that matter. Anyways, so he follows me outside and he's like, don't quit. Don't let someone push you to quit your job, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know what, Mr. Strong, like, I'm going to have to go home and think about this because I can't work with this immature environment and I can't deal with it. It's stressful. I don't get paid enough for this and I'm not dealing with it. Mind you, Miss B is like 43, 45, maybe 46, 47, I don't know. I think she's like 45, 46 years old, okay? And she's so immature. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go home and I'm going to think about this. So I went home and I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? Mind you, this company does not work like a real company. The HR, like I said, I really enjoy working with her. She's the only one I enjoy working with. She's not really an HR person. So I went to her the next morning and I just said, you know what? I don't think I can work in this office. It's very hostile work environment, stressful, and I don't think I can work in this office. I would like to be transferred to another office. And she said, well, did you talk to the guys? Meaning Little A and Mr. Strong. And I was like, no, you know, you're HR, so I came to you first. Like, you're supposed to do in any other company. You go to HR. She didn't mention it to those guys. And she might have, I don't know. They completely avoided me after that. Just completely avoided it. And after that day, when I left work that day, I sat and I was like, you know what? I'm not letting this old hag think that she got over on me. I'm not doing it. I'm absolutely not doing it. So I called Miss S, the HR, and I just said, you know what? I'm not going to let this old hag get to me. That's her problem. She has issues. I'm laughing hysterically inside. Mind you, the reason I laugh hysterically inside because as soon as the owner comes in, oh my gosh, can I get you a cup of coffee? Can I make you something to eat? We have like a kitchen. It's like a modular home. They made into our office, so it has like a kitchen and stuff. My office is like in the living room / kitchen, dining room part of the office, and her desk is like directly across. But anyway, so she's always like, you want me to make you something to eat? Mr. Strong, do you want me to make you something to eat? Are you hungry? Little A, can I make you something to eat? It's like, lady, get over yourself. Anyways, so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let this old hag get to me. I went into work from there forward with a smile on my face. You'll get over it, okay? So let's rewind a little bit before this falling out. Miss C, Little C, whatever I called her, the girl that's over the sales, she's a mixed girl. She's half black, half white. Beautiful girl. I mean, stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Until she opens her mouth. She talks about the most filthiest stuff. It's jaw-dropping, the things that come out of her mouth, and it makes her ugly. But anyways, Miss B always tries to be cool with Little A and Mr. Strong. So one day she's in the office. Miss C is back in her office, which is just like one of the bedrooms that's off from like the dining room where Miss B's office is at. She's back there. Her door's open. And Miss B is always playing like music on her little Alexa or whatever. And so she was playing music and a rap song came on or something. And she was like, Yeah, I told my husband that I didn't want no, what is the name of that song? Gold Digger. Oh, anyways, I didn't want a gold digger. He wasn't a broke in the N-word. Whatever that song is. I think 50 Cent sings it or something. Something about gold digger. Anyways, so she repeats that 3 times. The N-word. Mind you, Miss C that's in the other office, she's a mixed girl. Okay? She's in the other office. Mr. Strong and Little A, the vice president and president, are standing in the kitchen cooking. Miss B is talking to them. Clearly, they don't say one word to her. I hear Little C, Miss C, whatever I called her, get up and slam her office door because she heard Miss B say the N-word, not once, not twice, but 3 times. President and vice president still didn't say one word. Not one word. So I'm sitting there, and I had my earbud in. And after the first time she said it, I took my earbud out, and I'm like, did she really just say that? No, maybe I'm just hearing things. Then after, like, the third time she said it, I was like, oh my gosh. I text my fiance. I'm like, I cannot believe this. Like, wow. Anyway, so I have to walk through Miss C's bedroom to get to the bathroom, the girls' bathroom. So I need to use the restroom. So I went in there and I went to the bathroom. And I looked over at her desk and I could see that she was crying. She was upset. I didn't say anything to her because she's kind of odd. And, you know, like, I didn't know, like, what to say to her. I didn't know if it would, like, upset her even more. So I just didn't say anything at all. So I use the restroom and I come out. Then I hear Miss B go back there. And this is what she says. Just like this. So I guess you're mad at me? That's what she said to her. Miss C goes, if I were you, I would get out of my office. Get out of my face. I don't want to see you in my face. So Miss B walks out. Miss C, Little C, whatever I called her, walked out. My desk is literally right at the front door, so she, like, walked out, left. I sent her a text when she left, and I was like, you know, I'm really sorry. What do you say? For someone acting so ignorant. So, she left. And then I'm going to wrap this story up. We'll do a part 2, part 3. We'll probably do a series because I have so much I need to vent about my job that I hate so much. So, at the end of the day, Miss B was supposed to be going to get her hair done. And Little C is co-owner, half-owner of the salon that Miss B goes to. So she calls and cancels her appointment. She leaves the office crying. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So the next morning I come in and she's sitting there crying. She's like, I'm going to have to quit my job because Miss C will make my life a living hell. She runs this place and you don't get on her bad side. If you're on her bad side, you might as well just quit. And I was just like, well, you know, you did kind of offend the girl. You know, I didn't know what to say, and I was just like, oh, you know, I don't know. What do you say? It was just really bad for months after that. Which it should have been. She was wrong. She's completely wrong. The president and vice president was completely wrong for not saying, hey, you know, that's inappropriate, writing her up. I mean, most places you'd lose your job for saying the N-word to anyone, even if it wasn't directed to anyone, just saying it. It was wrong. You don't do that. You do not do that. yes, I'm from West Virginia, and the people here are very small-minded. And so, you know, if she's going to say it that fluently, that's something she says at home. Like, her family, they say the N-word, and they think it's okay. And it's not. You don't do that. You do not do that. But I was brought up differently, so I don't know. So they're in a little tiff, you know, not talking to each other, and it's whatever. Like I said, they're very difficult females to work with. So Miss C would walk in and out with an attitude towards Miss B, which she had every right to. I'm not going to say that she didn't. She had every right to, because it's unacceptable to say that N-word. I don't care if you're talking about a song. I don't care if you're talking about your husband. It's inappropriate. It's completely inappropriate. I guess they're just West Virginia hicks that, I don't know, know no culture and color. They think it's okay to call the N-word. I don't know. So, like I said, they're in a tiff. They have an attitude towards each other. Miss B thinks she's done no wrong. And I'm just sitting back like, wow. It was just a whole mess in the office. The HR girl is very, very good friends with Miss C, and she was upset. But again, she didn't say anything to Miss B about saying it, or did the president or vice president. We're going to end the story there. Stay tuned to story time of why I hate my job. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Share my page. I'd greatly appreciate it. And until then, I'll see you next time.